with. I'm going to give her probably a good 15, 20 minutes. All right, you up for that? Okay, and then the rest of you can just kind of get this going again. Here we go.
So yes, this is definitely voice lesson class. Also, I get to teach choir over at Trinity Classical, so I teach high school choir.
Nice.
So we're just going to start right in. I'm just going to start right in with you singing, and then we'll see where we go from there. All right. So just on a descending 5-note scale, oohs. Just ooh. That's all I want. We'll just descend from there. That's it. Go. So when we start it, it's not ooh, ooh. Do you hear the difference? So one, I'm kind of putting a harsh start to my sound, and I'm grabbing it right here. Ooh. Instead, I want ooh. Give me a good owl. Ooh. Ooh. You feel that wide open space back here?
Wide open.
This is where we want to sing it. Ooh. Wherever we were. Let's try it there. Same thing, but this time open it up like the owl space. All right, now as you're sitting, evaluate the way that you are sitting. Would it be the proper posture for good tone? What is proper posture for good tone? Can I sit like this
No.
and have really the best tone possible, right? So to get a good tone, I want to be able to provide a clean, clear space for the breath to come through. If I'm like this, kind of collapsed over, that's not providing that. Plus, does this provide energy? Is this posture energetic? No. Okay, so just a simple lifting of the chest, opening it up, and feeling that space. So, I mean, if you look over at me when I'm singing sometimes, I sing like this, crisscross applesauce. I would never recommend it. But crossing your legs, doing that kind of thing, make it so it's easy for your body to collapse in on you. So just to be able to keep that open, this would be the same thing when you're standing. Now, right now we're singing really relaxed things. What tends to happen though is we sing a song and we get a little bit higher up in the scale, and all of a sudden now I'm singing and I'm like this. Now, where is all that? Is that relaxed? No, you can even hear it in my voice. Just really simply, you can hear it change in the way that my throat gets constricted. So we put, I see it on everybody, we put all of this tension in between those shoulder blades, okay? As I tell, most of my voice students are like high school and college age, so I make them do lots of crazy things. But if you're singing, and at some point, if you wanted to move your arm, if you could genuinely move your arm and not make it look like a robot, then you're relaxed. But so many times I tell a student, okay, can you lift your arms? Doesn't that look so relaxed? Right? It's because all this tension is living in here. So if all my tension is living in here, and this is attached to my throat and my neck, so tension here, and then there's this tongue muscle that comes down into this space. So now if my neck is tight and these outer muscles are tight, the likelihood is that my larynx, which is that inside voice box, is tense and up, and then the tongue is tight. All of that, we just need that to be wide open. Whenever we're singing, it is a relaxed posture in that sense. I shouldn't be rigid. So when I'm singing forward, it's not this, right? This is not relaxed. It is sitting and having a relaxed posture, or standing and having a relaxed posture. But it's making sure all of this is relaxed. So it's like your throat is almost just this tunnel space for which sound comes out. So, with corrected posture this time, can we try that same thing continuing where we were? And we're actually going to go up even higher. So as we get up higher, gentlemen, eventually you'll falsetto flip it and just go there. But ladies, you got this. wide open. If this throat is really relaxed and the larynx is very relaxed and down, and you feel that, can you do that yawn, guys? Yeah. So we feel how that just drops and is relaxed. So if this is relaxed and this is wide open with that owl space, so it's kind of that whole thing combined. There's nothing going on in here. All that is happening is down here. Any level of tension that happens is from here down when you're singing. If you bring any of that tension up, it will choke the sound, okay? So we'll do that, and I want you to, as you're sitting, you know, you've all sat on an exercise ball before? Mm-hmm. You know this feeling of how there's just a little bit of tension in my thighs. I can kind of feel that there's energy coming from here down, but the rest of me is loosey. It's that sensation when you're singing, and it's that when you're standing too, right? You know not to lock your knees. Everyone knows what happens. But it's that when you're standing. You should be able to move and relax from here. All that tension goes right down to those legs. So singing in that exact same spot, pick it up right where we left off. Right there. Ready? Sorry. Keep it going. You should never feel right? This stresses you out. And nobody wants to look at somebody on stage who is singing like that. We'll just be honest, right? You get a little nervous for people when they're singing going, you're not quite sure they're gonna make it, but you can. Your voice is built to be able to do that. You just have to utilize the body that God gave you to do that. You are fully capable of hitting all of those notes, the scary ones, I promise. You are capable of hitting them. Okay, so, breathing. I'm gonna have you stand up for this for a little bit. So, we're gonna take in a breath, and I want you, right now, just take in your standard. You're gonna take a breath, ready to sing. Ready? Okay, now breathe out. I saw that. Huh. The lungs went up. They go down and out, right? So this shouldn't be attached to my lungs. It's not. So this stays nice and relaxed. Still. This breath then expands the rib cage and down. Take another breath in there. Much better. Now, taking the breath with the nose. I heard a lot of it was through the nose, which is really, really good. I want you to take that breath and feel that cool sensation of air just kind of hit the back right in here, okay? So take that breath again. Did you take a bigger breath this time? Was that a fuller breath? Okay, so now we'll do relax now. We're going to take that same breath again, feeling that cool space into the back of the head. But this time I want you to envision that that breath as you take it in is going all the way down to your tailbone, right? So posture is involved in this, right? We don't want to be doing this posture. We don't want to be doing this posture. So just nice and relaxed. This is open. Everything's open. Taking that breath in through the nose. Feeling the sensation of breath going all the way down to the tailbone. That way you can sing with all of that breath coming right back up. Okay? So taking that breath. Feel it just sort of fall all the way down there. All right. Relax that back out. Okay? So we're going to do that same ooh. Come back down to a lower register. What I want you to do is we're going to take in this breath. Now we're relaxed. So we started with our posture. We have a relaxed posture. We have a relaxed voice larynx here. We have a relaxed throat. We have relaxed shoulders, but we have a little bit of tension in the legs because we want to be able to have energy when we sing. Okay? Without falling over, passed out because your knees are locked. So we're going to do that with that breath. I want you to take in that breath. What you're going to take it in. You're going to stop it for a few seconds, and then you're going to let the sound come right in on top of the breath. And you don't need to let very much air out in order to make that sound. Ooh, ooh. So the first one I put out a lot of air. I used a lot less air. You don't need it. You just need to make that sound. So let that sound and control. Let's get it back out. It's not. It's a controlled movement. Okay? So taking that breath. There we go. Ready? Concentrate on this breath. Say what? We've built this up already, right? We've built up a relaxed space here with an open, rich tone by allowing that extra space and that owl space there. We've allowed for some tension into our breath space as well, and that's controlled on our way out. So now, what do we do when the vowel isn't ooh? Right? Okay, so we're going to do, it could be 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So it's going to be bitty, 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 boo. That's what you're going to sing. Okay? Bitty, 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 boo. Okay? And let's see if we can keep that same open space here. Because in choir, you don't want to be the one that's singing out in the choir. Okay? It's never a good thing when someone's like, I heard you, Elissa. And I'm like, sorry to hear. Okay? My voice carries and strikes through, and I wasn't doing a good enough job listening to somebody else and blending. Okay? And that happens with all of these vowels. We need them to blend, and some of these, you hear that tone? It's kind of, it's like this. Ding. Open that up into that same space. Bitty, 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 boo. Here we go. Bitty, 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 boo. Bitty, 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 boo. Don't forget the breathe. Bitty, 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 boo. Breathe on those. Bitty, 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 boo. Bitty, 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 boo. Bitty, 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 boo. Now sing it wrong. Bitty, 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 boo. Now sing it right. Bitty, 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 boo. Yeah. Do you hear how the word still comes out? Even if I'm not like bitty, which is really the real vowel, right? If I warm that vowel up, it still comes out. Okay, so we can still have a warm, rich color and provide text, which is a good thing. Okay, I was thinking something else and it went away. Moving on. It might come back. Okay, so now we have this lovely controlled breath. We have good round vowels. How about the breath support in carrying that tone as things get a little more difficult? So we're going to work on some fifths. And we're just going to go back and forth from 1 to 5 to 1 to 5 to 1. And we're going to on that 5 at the end. I'm just going on an ah vowel. So, now, hit fall. This is the note. Right? He's cringing at me. Okay? It's so easy to do that, and we have that all the time in songs, right? We have to go back up to something, and we provide enough energy to really get that intonation to stay where it needs to stay each time. So that's going to be having that breath that we talked about, that deep, full breath. And now, I'm saying breathe in through your nose every time. I do not breathe in through my nose every time. But what that automatically does is it opens up that space. So it's a really good practice to make a part of muscle memory is breathing in through the nose. It doesn't mean it's the only way to breathe and sing correctly. You can take a breath through your mouth and still be wide open. But it automatically gets you into that place. So if you're having a struggle with I feel like I'm straining for something, go back and check, are you taking a breath that opens up that space? So these are just real basic fundamentals of how do I get the tone that we're looking for. Okay, so now we're working on that strong breath that allows this support through all three of these. And then, no one wants to hear, ah. Those are nice, very, very distinct notes, right? Everything we sing is a phrase. So this has to be, this verse, has to be on the same line as, in terms of my energy. I can't go, okay? So it all sounds like it's the same part. And there's control over the whole length of it. So there's a lot of control happening here, okay? So keep this back in the legs where you at least have some relaxation down into the lower half of the body. No tension in the top. Okay, here we go. So it's going to be 3 of them. Ready? Oh no, you got to live up on that top line. You can't go back down. That's the whole trick. If you go back down, we want to hear where that lands, okay? That's what. With your mind. Okay, this is actually where I have students do like chair sits on the wall. I do not make you do that. Okay, I do not want anybody falling over on my lap. So, but if you are capable, it would actually be beneficial in this instance. Give yourself a little bit of energy through the legs for that lift up to try and control that. Okay, ready? Here we go. It's that. Just put the focus down here, okay? So get it out of here, because this will be the tendency. Go that opposite. Keep this tunnel open, that owl space open. Breath control. Okay? Here we go.
That's another reason why I feel like it's important when you are singing, even as a choir,
freedom around you to move. Right? People expect that rather than but if you have that freedom to do that, it not only looks good, but it has that